Oh man, that's it. I've been missing on my free throws. They ain't about to bend me, so from here on out it's all. Gotta watch who you talking to before you learn to step. I want that plain Jane, roll it with a brand new vet. Boy, I ain't worried about no pictures, man, we knock them off a wall. I'm glad you really let it sit in, cause your baby mama called. See, they been really trying to stun and knock me off of my pivot. He was on it, but they ain't want it, boy, it's part of the gimmick. That I want my top laid back, it's a brand new day. Man, they out finna drown off this brand new way. Using that blueberry pop tart cream on the inside. CD bump in the trunk, we just stirred the whole parking lot. Light up that blunt for a day, man, I wish that you was.
So much time and effort to build your own business, whole lot of work.
All kind of stuff popped off over the weekend with the MrBeast thing, so let's just get right into it. Another former, not quite employee, but someone who claims to have worked for MrBeast, at least for a project, has come forward. This video was posted just a day ago, probably about 2 days ago now, and it has 2.3 million views. So here is the video right here. It says, "I worked for MrBeast. He's a thief." And it was uploaded by a content creator called Ty Orr. So the video is about 23 minutes long. I clipped out some relevant parts, or some parts that I consider to be relevant. So let me pull that video up right now. Like I said, this is just a few clips from this video. So if you want to see the full video, I can link it below, and y'all can go click on it and watch it there. So let's get started on that.
Camera rather than on, and I'm
okay. So I have my notes here too. The guy, his name looks like it's Ty. Ty starts the video out by saying who he is. He introduces himself. He is a content creator. He has a YouTube channel, and he said since 2018, he has always wanted to be a YouTuber. One thing leads to another, and he starts to realize that he actually feels more comfortable behind the camera, meaning editing instead of being on the camera. And so he actually became a very successful and prolific YouTube editor. He edits for channels which have millions and millions and millions of subscribers, and he seems to have made out a little bit of a niche. Then Ty goes on to talk about the fact that he one day just gets this random email out of the blue earlier this year, February 2024. And when he gets this random email out of the blue, it's like, MrBeast follow-up. And they tell him, thank you for submitting your casting information to our team. We want to do a follow-up. Now you're going to hear him say it in this video, but Ty says he never submitted anything to MrBeast for casting, but he does work for other YouTubers, and he said he did work for other YouTubers. So he wanted to give it the benefit of the doubt, and maybe it was legit. So he did respond. Let me play a few of those first clips from the video here.
I was lied to, manipulated, and thrown away like a piece of garbage. Honestly, though, sometimes I kind of think that this was pretty genius. Like, no one would ever believe me because I'm literally just a nobody. So I have Chris Tyson to thank for allowing me to have this platform to tell my truth.
So good point. Keep this in mind, that if Ava Chris Tyson never was exposed for what Ava Chris Tyson was doing, and if all this other side tangential expose stuff was not going on, who would believe this guy? Who would care? And spoiler alert, this has been going on in every facet, portion, and crevice of every industry since forever, if it involves creative or intellectual property. Okay, this happens in the music industry. This happens in the movie and the film industry. This happens in the book industry. This happens in the television industry. They will harvest ideas from people who they do not think anyone will believe, and they steal it. They just steal it. This happens a lot. Okay. Spoiler alert. That's what we're going to talk about at the end of the video. Okay.
February 2nd, 2024, and I got an email in which I thought was a scam. I mean, for real, look at this. A random email saying, MrBeast follow-up, when you didn't even remember reaching out in the first place. Whether that's true or not, I certainly don't remember reaching out to him. I responded in the email, and then I proceeded to post a Facebook post because I was so happy. So I got a job offer from MrBeast today.
Okay, so in this part of the video, Ty is just going over some of the receipts, some of the evidence that he was able to gather to prove that what he's saying is accurate and true and credible. So he's showing his personal Facebook page here, and it says, so I got a job offer from MrBeast today. video call on Monday. Wish your boy luck. Okay, so he's just kind of laying the groundwork, showing that this did in fact happen in the month of February.
Video call on Monday. Wish your boy luck. So in a nutshell, before we get into all the details, MrBeast gave me a fake job, flew me out there to work. I worked my butt off, took all my ideas, sent me home, and told me there wasn't a job available.
So that's the TLDR of the video.
Then proceeded to not only do that, but then to take my ideas still and then make a video. So that's what we're going to be covering here.
Okay, so then he goes on to provide a few more receipts. Here he shows that he was at the airport flying to North Carolina.
The post says, years of hard work has led me to this. My heart is pounding out of my chest.
So I'm glad he included this because it's showing that he was really taking it seriously. He really believed that this was a true, genuine job opportunity, which for the record, he was extremely qualified for, which we'll get into.
I'm flying to Raleigh, Durham, North Carolina. February 26th, nothing about MrBeast. April 19th, nothing about MrBeast. April 25th, May 3rd, May 9th, May 19th, nothing about MrBeast. And do you know why I didn't post anything about MrBeast from that time? Because something went horribly wrong and I was way too embarrassed to tell people about it because I made so much noise, such a fuss about me going to MrBeast company, and then I just got kind of screwed over. So
I think we've all been there before. We believed something that maybe was too good to be true, but we bragged about it, and then it seemed like things were gonna check out. We told our friends about it, and then it was like, girl, that was a scam. Then you just don't say nothing else about it.
Oh, I didn't post a single thing about that. So this is the first email I ever got from a guy named Dylan. Dylan sent me an email, MrBeast follow-up. Hey, thanks for submitting your info to our casting team. We received your submission at this time.
So this is the email that he received out of nowhere. Thanks for submitting your info. We received your submission. He said, I didn't submit nothing, but hey, look, amen, Jesus, maybe it's a job for me. And then they go on to say, working at MrBeast, we are collaborative first. You'll see, he'll read it to you, but this is the first email that he purports that he received from this company.
And we're fully casted for our current videos. That's not what we want to pay attention to. What we want to pay attention to is the second paragraph. Working at MrBeast, we are collaborative first, and I was forward your submission. Don't know how you got it, but let's keep going. If you're interested, I would love to chat.
Okay, this is interesting. All right, this is like the third time I'm watching through this, and I finally am starting to see a little trees from the forest. We received your submission, and it says, at this time, we're fully casted for our current videos. But like he says, that's not even the most important part. They're saying, okay, thank you for contacting the casting team. We appreciate you contacting us. We don't need to cast nobody. We're fully casted. But it says, working at MrBeast, we are collaborative first. And I was forwarded your submission. And then Dylan says, if you're interested, I would love to talk about a potential full-time or contract role work on the MrBeast creative team. Okay. So he says, I don't remember responding to anybody's casting call, but I got this email and it said, we can't cast you anything, but we would like to talk to you about being a member of our creative team.
What's good,
either as
fam?
a full-time employee or possibly as a contract worker. Okay, like an independent contractor. That's the first email he ever received from these people, he says.
I responded to the email right after the call I had with Hoodie. They basically told me that
Okay, so I skipped a few parts here because he does just kind of go back and forth about the tedious kind of word for word exchanges and all that. And you should go and watch his video. But basically one thing leads to another. He gets to the next round of this process. And now it has to do with this vibe check, quote unquote. And apparently if you want to get this type of job, you have to go into the office and do what's called a vibe check. Now, I did go to law school and I took some classes at Wharton, the business school. And this type of job interview reminds me a lot of the consulting. I don't know if y'all know anybody that's ever got an MBA, the Master's in Business Administration, especially at a school like Wharton or Harvard or something like that. A lot of the people who go to those schools to get MBAs, they end up working at these what's called consulting firms. And girl, your guess is as good as mine as to what those firms actually do. It seems like they might run the world along with BlackRock, but these consulting firms, they don't just interview you like a regular job interview. They give you these kind of problem sets, right? Like the interviewer will come in and say like, all right, our client is the government of China and they're having a PR crisis. How would you address it? Or whatever. Like they'll give you really big, oftentimes either imaginary or already resolved and already solved problems. And the reason for that is they want to see how you think, what your personality type is, how you would approach a problem. There is really truly no right answer at all. You're just supposed to impress them with what your mind is capable of.
have a case interview which takes up roughly about 25 to 30 minutes of every interview that we do, and it really tests many different aspects of your problem-solving ability, as we like to call it.
That the interviewer is really looking for your intrinsics in terms of problem solving. It's more about being open and find your own approach to solve the project.
You really are solving problems that the consultant that is interviewing you has experienced through his or her own work with the client. And so that makes it much more relatable when you're able to discuss a real life situation.
But in the interview, we're looking for how you approach the situation and how you structure and communicate.
Again, to just see what's going on in your mind and understand how you think and understand how you solve problems.
You need to take notes while the consultant is speaking.
Okay. So that's what they're kind of calling this vibe check. It kind of reminds me of a consulting firm interview where they wanted him to come in, okay, for an interview. Before they wanted him to come in for an interview, they wanted him to pick one of two prompts of a possible potential future MrBeast video. And when he picked whichever one he picked, they wanted him to come up with a pitch. They wanted him to basically pitch a whole YouTube video. He's going to talk about this. I'm kind of, getting out ahead of myself here, but this is kind of what's going on. Then they email him about this vibe check, and they're kind of like, we want you to come in. Not only do we want you to come in for an interview, but we want you to come for 3 days and spend some time around the warehouse, aka studio where we all work. And we want to vibe with you and see how you work with us. But, vibe check is another way of seeing like how you are, how you interact. What is your personality type? What makes you tick? How do you deal with authority? How do you not deal with authority? How do you deal with someone who is technically maybe perhaps seemingly beneath you? It's literally, they're telling you it's a vibe check. So he gets invited in for the vibe check.
I needed to make a prompt. Let me just read the email. Hello, Ty. We would like for you to come in for a vibe check. Vibe check means you come in for a few days to see if you're good, see if you're a good worker, see, people are not going to be annoyed by you, and see if they can move further on with the hiring process. If possible, I'd like for you to come in for 3 days at some point next week. I've got a recruiting coordinator, Leslie, CC'd on this email. She will help you figure out the days which you can make it and handle your travel arrangements. Now, this is the most important email of all. What they want me to do is to do 2 video prompts. Attached, you will find 2 video prompts.
So now he's talking about the 2 video prompts that I previously mentioned.
Pick one that inspires you the most and document and write out how you envision it. Really let your creativity flow and assume everything is possible. So in each of these prompts, one of them is the world's most...
It does seem fun just in and of itself so far. I mean, I probably would have took the bait just to try and see.
Dangerous trap room, and the other is 24 hours to spend $1 billion. I went with the world's most dangerous trap room.
He didn't really care about this $1 billion thing. He's like, who gives a about how to spend $1 billion? And this guy, Ty, is very creative, very smart. So he chose the one where he would get to display that to the team and really put his intellect and his creativity on display for them to impress them, which is what you should do. You should try to put your best foot forward in an interview. So that's what he did.
We mentioned before, this is Leslie sending me an email. Thanks, Ty. Are you able to fly in on Tuesday, be on office Wednesday?
So then he shows this email from in between with Leslie, the coordinator, and he's just showing that they did, in fact, communicate via email.
Wednesday through Friday, and fly back out on Saturday morning. Of course, I said yes, and she gave me all my travel info. So now we're going to get into like the more just deep in the details here.
Okay. So it looks also, he doesn't mention this in the video, but I'm noticing now looking at this email, it does look like they were talking, Ty and Leslie, the coordinator, were talking about what to do with Ty's dog. And it does look like this was being presented, and the pretense was that this was a legitimate job possibility and opportunity. Because look, she says, if we move forward with the 90 days, we'd be happy to help with travel accommodations and help getting your pup all set up. Okay, so it seems like maybe there was some type of contention where like if you do the vibe check good or whatever, then there's a possibility for a 90-day trial period. And I have heard also Dogpack, aka Dawson, talking about this 90-day trial period as well. So I think this must be something about that. So it does appear that they were presenting it as though there were a job available that maybe he could get, maybe Ty could get.
Friday and fly back out on Saturday morning. Of course, I said yes, and she gave me all my travel info. So we're taking a look right here. I have the prompt, and it says the world's most dangerous.
So now Ty is going to show you and tell you about the prompt that he answered. Okay. I'm probably going to fast forward this just to save a little bit of time. You should go and watch the video, but I just want y'all to get a brief overview, just kind of visually see what he was presenting. I'm going to let him kind of talk through what he presented at this as this prompt. Now, I want you to remember, he has not gone over there yet. Okay.
Quantum entanglement. That's why channeling works.
Your brain is making
he's doing this prompt in his house from his computer. Okay. He's just doing this as part of before he gets there to do the vibe check. He's doing this as part of that. Okay. So he very smart. I'm telling you, can tell that this is an extremely intelligent individual based on what you're about to hear him describe. But this was how he answered the prompt. Remember the two prompts he had to choose from? One was spend $1 billion, and then one is like this most dangerous trap room or whatever. This is his answer to that prompt.
Trap room. And in my intro, I have PT hallway, I have elevator, I have the Squid Games glass challenge, I have bloodthirst, and I have mole maze. And within these things in my prompt, I do have like variations. So first one I see.
So he put variations, right? He didn't just answer, oh, it would be cool if A, B, C, D, E. He said, oh, well, if you didn't like C or D, then you could do L or M or X or Y, right? He gave more options to just show the depth and the breadth of his creativity. You know, if there's some reason why that won't work, here's another option.
The variation. So right here, underneath elevator, I wrote one thing. The ultimate goal is to escape the elevator before it reaches the top floor and the bottom falls out beneath you. But I also have a second variation. Pick, lock, tool, groove, chain in the wall. Goal is the same except the elevator moves a little faster. Move the chain, object, lock, pick tool to unlock the locks on the roof and the elevator reaches the top. So you ever play those games where it's like a little plastic thing, has grooves all over, it's like a maze, and you gotta move that ball through. Well, essentially that's what I did for this video, except you're chained to the thing and you gotta move.
You see what I mean? Like, who can even think of something like this? I have a very creative mind, y'all. Y'all know, I mean, look around. This is what I do for my job. But this is next level creativity right here. I couldn't have thought of this, but it does sound fun, and it does sound like something I would watch. I mean, I don't really watch this MrBeast crap because I don't like watching him. Like, I don't like MrBeast, the personality. It's just grating. But this is a cool, I mean, this guy should work for a game show. This is very, very cool. I would definitely try it.
Move the ball through the grooves with a key that has a key on it, so you can reach one lock. And there's locks on each four corners of the elevator. So when you get this lock, now you gotta go through the maze again. And now you gotta go and take this lock out. And then like that, so you can escape the elevator. If you don't, the whole thing just plummets to the ground. I thought that was a pretty dope idea, right? So I did that, but I also made two of them because I wanted to make a variation of it. So also here in Squid Games, I made a different variation of what was already done. In the second variation of the Squid Games, I say Mario style floating obstacle course. Instead of using floating blocks, which is impossible, we will use floating rack hoisted by 4 cranes. Floating rack hoisted 200 feet in the air. Each section of the obstacle course will change depending on the distance made. Start from one platform to another to advance. Safety harness will be eliminated due to the net.
So he gets into this kind of obstacle course idea that he had, and it was based off of, because his kids likes the Mario movie and they watch it a lot. There's this thing, he'll get into it, so I'm not going to insert it here, but you'll see in a few minutes, you'll see the diagram of this. But he's showing you that even in his email, even in the prompt that he sent, typed out, he's telling them Mario style obstacle course where it's kind of floating. He's already pitching this. Why? Why is he pitching this? Because his kids really like Mario. He keeps pushing this Mario style obstacle course. And before he ever went there, look, he's talking about it.
Underneath the platform. Now, with that, so we have an idea that I wanted to do. So I want to talk a little bit more about my experience of being at the MrBeast warehouse. I've never once personally.
So up until now, what we've discussed is him getting reached out to. There was a back and forth process of an accumulation, a series of interviews. He responded to a prompt. He was invited to a vibe check, and then he flew to North Carolina. The first day that he was there out of the 3 days, he claims that he only just stayed in his hotel room because something happened where the people he was going to be working with got caught up doing something else. The second day, he goes there and he works pretty much all day with them, kind of doing the vibe check. The third day, which will be his last day there, he works for a long time with a specific team of only 2 other people, it looked like. And this is where the important ideas are really going to get brought up.
Have ever signed an NDA. In all my emails and all my correspondences and all my text messages, I have never once ever signed an NDA. Anyways, I get to the warehouse and they have multiple different like studios. Studios as in workshops where you work at, creative, thumbnail, editing, ideation, all these things, right? So they take me to, for legal purposes, I will say, for legal reasons, I will say Studio 1.
So they have all these workshops and all these teams, and the teams are for different things: ideas, creative, thumbnail team, right? There's different teams for things. And he's saying he got put on one of them. The first day he was there, remember, he didn't go to the studio. He stayed at his hotel. Second day he was there, he went to the studio. So he's not saying if he was in the thumbnail or the creative or the idea. He's not saying which one. He's just like, for legal purposes, which I don't know why he's doing this for legal purposes if he did not sign an NDA. If he didn't sign an NDA, I don't know why he's saying, oh, for legal purposes, I was in one studio or whatever. I mean, just tell us who it was, I guess. But I do understand people being scared of getting sued.
One of creative. I go to studio one, you know, whatever. It's all right. We're working on the video. We're doing the in 10 minutes, like actual 10 minutes. In 10 minutes, this building explodes. I worked on that for a little bit. Wasn't really feeling it. I will post a little video here of me working on laser for that. Wasn't really that good out here. This was actually the second day of me being there because the first day I spent my entire day in my hotel. On the third day, I was told to go to a different studio. We'll say Studio 2, and I'm working on a video. It was another one that had nothing to do with anything. Anyways, I go through a good portion of the day, about 5 hours. Around like 2:00 p.m. there's a guy named Hoodie. Hoodie was also in one of the emails earlier, and he's like, and when it comes to chain of command, I think he's third in chain of command total. So you have MrBeast, you have Tyler, you have Jackson the head writer, and then you have Hoodie. And Hoodie was in charge of all these things. I actually had my vibe check call with Hoodie. I had my second call with Hoodie. I was in contact with Hoodie and Leslie, the coordinator, if you remember that, and everything was going through Hoodie.
So Ty says he's there for like 5 hours, and it's like 2 p.m., which, I mean, I would assume, especially if they're not paying him, he would be expected to be there from approximately 9 to 5, maybe 8 to 6, with a lunch break, you know, put in, especially if he's just going to be shadowing. But he says around 2 p.m., he is approached by like the third or fourth in command person at the entire business, this guy named Hoodie, who, while they all going by fake names, Delaware and Hoodie, I wonder why Hoodie goes by Hoodie. I don't know. But Hoodie comes in at 2:00 p.m. and gets Ty. Now, in my opinion, this is the whole reason they brought him there in the first place. I don't know. I wasn't there, girl. I can't read their minds. But somebody comes collect him up and says, hey, for the rest of the day, I actually want you to shadow. I want you to shadow some other people. Come with me. So he does just that.
Work with this team and see how you can contribute to them. So let's break down the positions in the MrBeast company. You went to this new room.
It was very confusing and very Scientology coded. I cut about 5 minutes out of him explaining how the C1s, C2s, and C3s work, okay? It's all hierarchical. It's all MLM. It's giving Mormon. It's giving Scientology. It's giving people who are familiar with MLMs, like possibly Mormons, like possibly, I don't know, the Latter-day Saints. We'll get more into that later. But it's definitely giving like CP1, CP2, CP3, and you got to obey. It was confusing, but just know that he did get into the hierarchical structure of the business and of the operations of the company in this video as well. I just cut that part out because it was confusing.
And we're working on a video. We're working on a video called The World's Most Dangerous Obstacle Course. I'm so mad, so upset that I got scammed. I got absolutely scammed by the biggest YouTuber in the entire world. This is where you're gonna find out why I was upset. We're working on the video, World's Most Dangerous Obstacle Course, and I want to show some videos and proof of what I did. So there may...
Okay, and so now he's gonna tell us about what he actually worked on in that room with those people while he was doing that shadowing, and he has pictures from that day. So let me make this bigger.
Have walls in the MrBeast studio where they're all dry erase marker, where you can just write anything. So if you have an idea,
he says there's walls of whiteboards. So they're just drawing all over the whiteboards.
Like, oh crap, I don't want to forget it. Right on the wall. This is a picture of my pitch that I wrote. So you see right here, you get really close. Bloodthirst. Let's see. Elevator. Let's even get close. Glass challenge right here. PT hallway. Sound familiar? It's my prompt. This is what I pitched to Hoodie, and I didn't put my variations in there. I just put the ones that I wanted, and I verbally said my variations just in case they didn't like my original ones. This is the world's most dangerous obstacle course. So C1 has been working on this with me and the other guy, I don't know his name, and we're working on, like, as you can see, the intro, the hook, the money mechanic.
So he's showing you what they were working on. From the sounds of things, it seems like there was only 3 people in that room. It was him, another girl who seems to be, her name was Sierra, and another guy who was kind of like low on the totem pole. And they were brainstorming here. From what it sounds like, they were writing this stuff on the board, and he's kind of going through, look, we're doing the intro, we're doing the hook, we're doing the different things.
Right here, we're looking at, this is the most important part, it's just rooms. Brainstorming rooms, I'm like, dang, okay. Rooms. I just did a prompt on the world's dangerous
So it just so happens that there was a portion of this video where he was just supposed to be shadowing. He was just supposed to be shadowing. Remember? That's how they framed it to him. Hoodie said, I want you to shadow these people. But then part of the shadow ended up being His ideas got wrote on the board, okay? And he's saying, oh, I have ideas for this because this is rooms. And I just did a whole prompt. Remember that email prompt? You typed it all out with the variations and all that. I just did a whole prompt on rooms. And I think some of my ideas were really good, including that Mario floating thing. And so let me present those ideas here because it fits. I'm going to try and show that I'm a collaborator and I'm a team player.
Trap rooms. This is perfect. I can do this. It doesn't exactly follow the obstacle course, so I can kind of use my room idea with this. I mean, if you look at all these ideas, whatever, it doesn't matter. The one thing that I'm looking at the most is all the way at the bottom. It looked like it says Marlo, but it says Mario. Mario was my idea. I'm inspired by Mario because my kids love the Mario movie. They love it so much they named my dog Mario. So I was inspired by that. And I think I put that in my prompt as well. If anyone's ever seen Mario, they have the floating blocks. And I wanted to see how I can make an obstacle course with those floating blocks. I don't know how you would do it. Logistically, it's just not gonna work, and physically, I don't think it would work either. So I came up with the idea with a truss. Taking a look at this picture right here. So this was my idea here. I wanted to make an obstacle course in the air, but like somehow incorporate it with the Mario idea. Somehow just, I don't know, somehow do that. This is a picture that I drew for this pitch for this idea. I had an idea of a truss with 4 cranes holding it up, and I wanted to be able to go across it. That was just the first section of it. Because if you look a little bit more to the right of this picture, there's like a helicopter and a guy hanging from a ladder, and there's platforms down here, 1, 2, and 3. There's platforms right there. That was just the first section of it. I wanted the intro of the video to be something so outlandish, so crazy that the viewer had to keep watching. So I pitched this idea, and they absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved it. The only person who didn't like it was C.
Okay. This part to me is important because he says the only person who didn't like it was, it appears to be that there was this person's name was Sierra. I'm gonna call her that. I don't know if that's what he's saying because he bleeped it out, but it looks like he's saying Sierra. So Sierra, who was kind of the main leader, the C1, the boss of that room, of that little group in that one room, she did not like it. She did not like the idea. And Ty is saying that that's because she was jealous because it wasn't her idea. I think, I have a little bit more of a conspiracy theory mindset about it, but I'll get to what my opinion is in just a moment.
One, because it wasn't her idea. So when it came down to our meeting later that day, so we were there for hours and hours and hours. And like I said, there's a hierarchy. There's MrBeast, Tyler, Jackson, the head writer, and Hoodie. Jackson comes down there and we're having a meeting at 9 o'clock at night. The meeting goes all the way to midnight, and then they say at the very end, we're gonna need all hands on deck on this. We're gonna need the help. We're gonna need the creativity. We need everyone to pull their weight. Does anyone have anything that's gonna help us, with this? And I told him my idea.
So they have a big meeting later that night, and he's been here all day at this point, and he's been working on. First of all, he worked until 2 p.m. with a whole group of people. He got moved to another room around 2 p.m. where he started brainstorming and offering a lot of his own original ideas in a very small group of people, maybe 3 people total. Now, one of them 3 people he was working with did not like his ideas. But apparently after that, a lot of people came back together from the team, from the warehouse, from the studios, all came back together. They reconvene at the end of the night. And he pitches his little idea he came up with. Now, remember, he was told he went in there to shadow. Once he got in there, there was something that was so similar to something that he had just did a whole pitch on that he took the initiative. And used his creativity and his intelligence to contribute because they had literally told him, this is part of the mind of the whole thing. They literally told him their team is about collaboration first. Okay. So he's doing exactly that. He's doing exactly what they told him, thinking that he's going to be rewarded for it.
Brought up every single thing, not only just this idea, but the rest of the video. They loved it.
So from my perspective, he took initiative. He went above and beyond, and he was not getting paid for this. He was not even hired yet. He wasn't even hired for the 90-day trial yet. This is literally a vibe check. And here's this guy, smart, creative, intelligent. He's talking to them about his ideas. Now, this wasn't probably expected, right? But in his mind, and from my perspective, if I'm hiring somebody, this is exactly what I want to see. And I'm a YouTuber, okay? Like maybe one of these days I might be hiring somebody. I'm gonna tell you what I would love to see. I would love to get in a room with somebody and we're collaborating on a video idea for a little bit, and they have brilliant, intelligent, outside of the box ideas I never would have thought of. That's what I want to see as a YouTuber who's hiring people. Well, some might see it, and I think this is where I'm going with this. I believe he was screened out for exactly the reasons why I would screen him in. And that is, he did not respect his role or his place. These people are a multi-level organization, okay? And if you will recall, I mean, he just told us who the chain of command is. Jimmy is number one. He just told us. Number two is a guy named Tyler. Number three is the lead head main writer named Jackson. Then under him is Hoodie. Okay. So if MrBeast is number one, what else do we know about MrBeast? He does not handle the operations of this company. He does not handle his own damn bank account. He don't even have access to his own main bank account. Okay. So who does? That would be Susan Marie King Donaldson Perisher. That's Jimmy's mom. Jimmy's mom is also a former prison warden for the Department of Defense prison in Mannheim, Germany. Okay, so she's a prison warden type for the military. Okay, who really likes hierarchical following orders, even if the boss ahead of you is full of absolute Who? No matter what, you have to follow your commander's order. The United States military.
What's good, fam?
So it's my opinion that all of this, what Ty thought was putting him on the map, making him stand out for all the right reasons, actually made him stand out for all the worst reasons, because this organization does not actually seemingly value creativity, intellect, and initiative in employees. No. They value creativity, intellect, and initiative in people whose ideas they want. And people who they just want to throw a little email real quick out to them and get them in the office real quick so they can get them to solidify their idea. But these people in this organization that's being run like a military operation, they don't want somebody who's going to go over the C1, who's their boss. They want you to shut up, be quiet, be the intern, and job shadow. Now, does that mean that they won't use your idea if you have a good idea? No. And this is something that I really would like to explain to anybody who has found themselves in this type of position. You did not get that job because you weren't good enough for the job. You did not get that job because you are not controllable, Ty. That's why you didn't get hired. The reason you didn't get hired, in my opinion, I wasn't there. I don't know these people from Adam. Okay. This is psychic vision from the Lord. Okay. This is a psychic vision from the Lord. All right. But the reason, Ty, you didn't get the job is not because anything about your ideas, and it also isn't about how you were getting along with the people at your same level. The problem was you were a little too bold. And how do I know this? Or why is the Lord giving me this psychic vision? Because I've had the same thing happen to me many times. I've had people make whole documentaries off of my YouTube research and not even mention that I exist. I've had people try to make a documentary about the free band movement and wasn't going to interview the leader of the free band movement who started and founded the free band movement. Okay. They were going to make a whole documentary about a movement I founded without interviewing me. Why? Because I'm not for sure going to say what bullshit they need me to say on that camera. That's why. Okay. So as a word of advice to everybody, a lot of times in people whose ideas they want, and people who they just want to throw a little email real quick out to them and get them in the office real quick so they can get them to solidify their idea. But these people in this organization that's being run like a military operation, they don't want somebody who's going to go over the C1, who's their boss. They want you to shut up, be quiet, be the intern, and job shadow. Now, does that mean that they won't use your idea if you have a good idea? No. And this is something that I really would like to explain to anybody who has found themselves in this type of position. You did not get that job because you weren't good enough for the job. You did not get that job because you are not controllable, Ty. That's why you didn't get hired. The reason you didn't get hired, in my opinion, I wasn't there. I don't know these people from Adam. Okay. This is psychic vision from the Lord. Okay. This is a psychic vision from the Lord. All right. But the reason, Ty, you didn't get the job is not because anything about your ideas, and it also isn't about how you were getting along with the people at your same level. The problem was you were a little too bold. And how do I know this? Or why is the Lord giving me this psychic vision? Because I've had the same thing happen to me many times. I've had people make whole documentaries off of my YouTube research and not even mention that I exist. I've had people try to make a documentary about the free band movement and wasn't going to interview the leader of the free band movement who started and founded the free band movement. Okay. They were going to make a whole documentary about a movement I founded without interviewing me. Why? Because I'm not for sure going to say what bullshit they need me to say on that camera. That's why. Okay. So as a word of advice to everybody, a lot of times in these corporate environments, because I think that people have a little bit of a confusion. They think that because MrBeast is a job in a creative field, that it's like a creative job. And in some ways it is. You do have to have creativity. But what I would venture to wager that they actually value more in employees, full-time employees, not people whose ideas they want to take. That's not who I'm talking about. People who they want to work at their business. It's not a creative consideration probably very much at all. It's who will shut the hell up, not ask any questions, not rock the boat, not buck the system, not try to make a whole bunch of changes, not try to be the one intern that's trying to be the shining star. I would imagine that what they really value at the MrBeast, the brand corporation, is exactly the same thing they value at Winston and Strawn or Quinn and Emanuel or Deckert or any law firm or any consulting firm. And that is shutting the hell up and following orders. Okay. Can you imagine if we had a business full of brilliant creatives like Ty and me? I'll put myself in there. Imagine if me and Ty were your employees. For the most part, we're going to be smarter than almost everybody we're working with. It's clear to me. I mean, the man is brilliant. He's a genius. He's very creative and he's very competent. So imagine like a bunch of me's and Ty's running around. Imagine me and Ty running around. You trying to be our boss. Imagine trying to be my boss. I'm going to be telling you where you're wrong. I'm going to be giving you my brilliant ideas that I got from the mothership. I'm going to be telling you that because I think, stupidly, you want the best video to come out. But no. These people have to keep their organization going. They have to keep the company going. And if we have brilliant creatives like this coming in out the woodwork with better ideas than everybody else that we're going to actually implement and use for a video that we're going to actually allow to go over budget because of this guy. Imagine a bunch of them come in and just start saying, no, I'm not listening to the CO. That would cause a very big problem, especially if you want to still keep being the #1 YouTube channel. We can't have disruptors like that coming in and messing up our organization, but we can damn sure use them ideas. That's what I think from my psychic vision from the Lord. That's what I think happened. Let's listen a little further. We're almost done with this clips.
The budget was originally 1.7 million. That intro alone cost 1.7 million dollars. Just the intro alone. And the reason why I didn't want to bring it up immediately was only because if the budget was 1.7 million and I'm here to prove myself, I can't start with going by over budget. Say, well, it would have worked because who they're going to trust. You're going to trust someone that works there for months or weeks, years, or you're going to trust some guy like me that just flew here a couple days ago. It was a little risky, but they loved it. We stayed to midnight. They freaking loved it. I got a pat in the back. Jackson was excited. Hoodie was excited. The only person who wasn't excited was a C1 that I kind of stepped over because, like they say in the company, it don't matter if you're C1, C2, C3. C3 could be a C2, C2 could be a C1, C1 could be a C3 by tomorrow. All right, so.
And what he just said is a little bit telling as to why I developed the theory that I just now expounded on for a few minutes. Listen to what they actually said. He said at this company, a C1 could be a C2. A C2 could be a C3, right? This is the levels, right? The boss could be the worker could be the assistant could be the boss tomorrow, right? But what does that still tell you? That they will change your title before they will allow somebody who is a C2 to override the C1. Okay, one more time for the slow people. The hierarchy, the military pyramid structure hierarchy of this corporate organization is so important to them. This hierarchy, this following your boss's orders is so important to them that they will change somebody's job title in one day to make sure that the person who's actually the assistant isn't toppling over the boss. Okay. It's not like they walking around saying, look, if you're a C1, you're the boss. But if you're a C3, you might have an idea that we like, and we might take that idea over the C1. Nope. No, y'all got to start being specific with the language people use. This is how they get away with it, and y'all just never notice. You've got to listen to the words people say. They were running around that office telling this guy who was not even employed yet, anybody could become a C2, C3, C1 tomorrow. None of these CCCs, whatever, are set in stone, okay? They did not say, yeah, C1, C2, technically that's the order, that's the structure, but we just value everyone's opinion. Nope. They will strip your job title from you. They will demote you at any moment. That kind of puts you on a little bit of scary, shaky ground. And that's another criticism that we've heard many times about the MrBeast employment world. Everybody thinks they're about to get fired at any moment. You're not really getting good feedback, so you don't really know when you're going to be just kicked out onto the street. And people, I mean, I wasn't there. I never worked for him, okay? I'm just telling you what people are saying. But here again, oh, you could lose your C1 status tomorrow. You could lose that tomorrow. This guy could be your boss tomorrow. Right? That is that like, oh, you might get fired any moment, right? You might get demoted any moment. But there was another person who's come out and said similar allegations to this kind of breadcrumbing, where it was the person who came out and exposed and tried to criticize Ava Chris. This was a transgender person who had dated Ava Chris in some capacity. And Ava Chris Tyson kept saying to this person, they might be in a video. Maybe they'll be able to cast them in a Mr. Beast video, kind of breadcrumbed them along to keep them from being too mad at Ava Chris for the
Yeah, I don't think
alleged
he didn't get hired because he was like
allegations
too
of activities
smart
that Ava
and
Chris was doing against this
he was
person.
smarter
And
than
that's
those
not it.
people that
There's
were
another guy, this Weddle, Jake Weddle, or whatever his name is, right?
Weddle.
Remember him? He also came out and said, even after he didn't work at Mr. Beast anymore, they would still call him and still text him and say, oh, we got a challenge. A challenge, you could win $300,000. Come do the challenge. Right? So they're kind of breadcrumbing people along. And I believe this is intentional. I believe this is intentional. I believe this is intentional psychological manipulation to keep people from going sour and making videos exactly like the one you're watching right now. Because they breadcrumb this person as well, Ty. Later on, they're going to tell him he doesn't have a job offer, but then they end up saying it's not because your personality or anything like that, because it's just a reorganization we're doing at the company. And maybe in the future, we'll even have a job for you. Well, he's already been there. He's been at Mr. Beast. He's been in the warehouse. He's been amongst the people. And they're still telling him when they're telling him he don't have a job. Well, maybe in the future. So I could see how in his mind, he doesn't want to rock the boat. Maybe in a couple months, they're going to, and especially because he had such good ideas and the people loved him. But this breadcrumbing to keep people from going sour on them does seem to now be, from the different places we've seen this allegation coming from, actually a pattern from what I've observed, in my opinion.
Point, I've pitched my idea. They love it. They've set a date. They set a location. And now they have a new renewed budget for.
So they're going to take his idea. They're going to do it. They're going to use his idea, but he's still there in North Carolina. He's excited. Yes, they're going to use my idea. They're making a budget. They've got the place. Oh my God. I can't imagine the excitement that he was filled with.
This video, and everything's great. I'm so happy. I text all my friends. I call everyone. I'm like, yeah, dude. So after all that, I'm feeling great. I got a verbal confirmation that I was good to go. Everything was perfect. I know about everything was literally perfect until I got home. And that's when everything started to happen. Unfortunately, we have decided not to move forward with your candidacy at this time. We really appreciate you coming out and vibing with us. We would consider you for a role like this in the future, but timing isn't quite right. And the rest are about receipts. So
we would consider you for a role like this in the future, but the timing isn't quite right. But we do know that they have some open positions, because this same person was talking about a 90-day trial and all of this stuff. Like, obviously there was jobs to be had. It just wasn't going to be an offer to him. And it cannot be because he didn't have good ideas, right? He had great ideas, and they actually indeed implemented many of his ideas in videos that you can go and watch today. He showed proof that they were his ideas by drawing them on the board and showing us that those pictures. So it isn't that they didn't have a job, and it isn't that he wasn't talented. It isn't that he wasn't creative, and it wasn't that he didn't understand the assignment, because he clearly did. So what does that leave room open for? I've heard some people say this could have been a race-based consideration, which maybe it could have been. Maybe it could have been. I wasn't there. I do not know. But in my opinion, it has a lot more to do with the fact that of any race, of any gender, a person with this personality type, this go-getter, this self-starter, that, hello, listen, pick your pen up, write this note. That is boss qualities. That is not employee qualities. Okay? Now, as I already said, me personally, with a YouTube team of me plus one person, I would love to have Ty work for me for free for 3 days, even 1 day, even 5 hours, because I guarantee you can come up with some fantastic ideas. But I'm not Mr. Beast. I'm not a multi-million, billion, whatever dollar corporation conglomerate. I have more flexibility. I have more ability to absorb that type of an impact because I am my own boss. Mr. Beast's boss is Susan Marie King Donaldson Perisher. Okay. So everybody's got to make sure that the lead main commander, military prison warden in charge, has her military hierarchy respected. And unfortunately for Ty, he believed what these people were telling him, that they valued collaboration, that they valued self-starters, that they valued people taking initiative. That is not true. That is not true in almost any corporation or almost any business. What they want you to do is shut up, take your notes, speak when spoken to, and go fetch somebody's coffee. Okay, that's what they want you to do. That's what they want me to do. That's what they want employees to do. If you stay at a company for years, that's when they might start saying, oh yeah, they have leadership qualities. Yeah, that'd be nice. These huge companies like this, they don't want no outside of the box go-getter on their full-time payroll. I promise you that. No, they don't. We cause too much problems for them. Y'all know I'm telling the truth too.
First, I was like, you know what? Maybe that's true. But then I started to think about it a little bit more. And I didn't want to let it bother me. So I said, hey, Dylan, that's a bummer to hear, but I appreciate the opportunity. Maybe another time, like you said. Candidly, may I ask if I presented myself poorly or rubbed the crew wrongly in any way? Talking about here because I know I did. He said, hello, Ty. You did not rub anyone the wrong way or present yourself poorly. We're going through some reorganization with the team and are limited on roles we have open for teams. Whatever. This is where I started to like say, but I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything at all. Not a single word until I saw this on Twitter. Just uploaded the most insane video we've ever done. Go watch. Take a look at this picture. Take a good hard look at.
Look at that, y'all. Y'all. Oh my God. I almost wish that I would have recorded myself when I watched it the first time. I went, and it was more dramatic than that because the camera wasn't on. But girl, oh my God, I freaked out. That is unmistakable.
This picture. Does that remind you of anything you've seen so far? Does it remind you of anything you've seen remotely close to it? Or does it look like the exact same thing that I drew? The exact same thing that I pitched? Everything. Do you want to know how much I got paid for that? Zero. I didn't get paid a single dime.
So that's pretty much that. And I understand why he would be upset. And I think he has every reason to be. I don't think it's legal. He did this whole section about maybe this is legal. I don't think it's legal. Because in order for somebody to use your intellectual property, you have to give them consent to do so, or at least you have to have had some type of consideration paid to you, or some type of consideration afforded or awarded to you.
Or
it
like,
don't seem like he had any consideration
like
afforded or awarded to him. It does seem like he did get a trip to North Carolina, but it was for the purpose of a job interview. So that's not consideration, in my opinion. So I don't even actually believe or think that this was legal. I think this is pretty cut and dry, but I'm not an expert on this. I've never been licensed in North Carolina. Y'all go to hire your own lawyers, but this is absolutely now. The final thing I wanted to say to kind of wrap this all back up with like the Beyonce and the P. Diddy story of things. I've covered a few lawsuits on this channel, discussed them, and most of them were dismissed, and they were against very, very famous, wealthy, powerful people. For example, one time somebody accused Kim Kardashian and a bunch of other celebrities of really some stuff that honestly probably would be conservatorship or jail type allegations, like torturing her, like, you know, accuse Kim Kardashian of torturing her, accuse Kim Kardashian and Chris.
That's just crazy, bro. Yeah, that's crazy, bro. Oh man, that's it. I've been missing on my free throws. I do both, bro. Assassin's Creed or whatever you are. What's up, Big Jew? What's up, Tejas? Yeah, bro, I'm a little bit like too blazed out of my mind right now, so I'm just chilling. Not really like paying attention to nothing. I'm just chilling. But what do you do more? What, do you rap or you stream or what? What do you do? God, you have to pick. I do both, bro. Get with the freaking program here, buddy. If you're that much of an assassin, oh, I can't just stream and make music. Oh no, you gotta just do one or the other guy. You gotta pick what freaking what room you gotta be in. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you. Yeah, bro. Just sometimes like it's not enough to just be chilling. It's not enough to just be chilling right here on. I can't just be live with you. I gotta be all the way entertaining, all the way. Hey, just so Assassin can differ what I'm doing. I can't just make music. I can't just chill on the. No, I gotta just be doing everything. I just gotta be doing everything. So to please Assassin, right? Oh yeah, no, I can't just do one or the other. I gotta be doing both at the same time. Rapping and streaming. I can only do one. Oh, I can only do one thing. So you rap or you stream. Oh well. What are you getting now, bro? Bro. Okay, so let me break it down, right? So the title said rapper turned streamer, right? So 40s of fentanyl is really impressive. It's really impressive.
I'm about to distribute this carbon, I'ma let it rip. Don't come around bragging about garments, we gon' take it fit. And now the whole damn squad be rocking your shit. I think you lying off top, you ain't copping no zips. The game to fill my feet, the tracks, I'ma run it a bit. Now carry on, I look upon tracks to go bully on. These dudes are all square, cubes like bullions. If the tone was New York, I'm fucking Mayor Julian. I can't distinguish the two with Dix and Jonathan. One mine is slow and one is fast like an autobahn. So compile the dollars on, compiled like Amazon. Built from the ground up, you start with books and carry on. Now all I need is one song, still don't think that can happen. Or I'm slapping, damn near passing every silent reaction. I'm cool, I got my own flurry, they undermine my fury. That bitch won't answer your questions, cut her off and talk to Siri. I got 98 problems, let me tell you a little something. The reason why it's 98 cause two bitches on one. I got 98 problems, let me tell you a little something. The reason why it's 98 cause two bitches on one. I'm about to distribute this carbon, I'ma let it rip. Don't come around bragging about garments, we gon' take it fit. And now the whole damn squad be rocking your shit. I think you lying off top, you ain't copping no zips. The game to fill my feet, the tracks, I'ma run it a bit. Now carry on, I look upon tracks to go bully on. These dudes are all square, cubes like bullions. If the tone was New York, I'm fucking Mayor Julian. I can't distinguish the two with Dix and Jonathan. One mine is slow and one is fast like an autobahn. So compile the dollars on, compiled like Amazon. Built from the ground up, you start with books and carry on. Now all I need is one song, still don't think that can.
See how many people are gonna start doing this now and just start copying that. You can have it. Like, you don't want to say I did a certain thing. You don't want to say I do this, and then we're also live on Kick. So shout out Kick.
I wake up in the morning trying to regain on my bed. Funny thing about that is that they see me as a sad. I was used to taking off just like a rocket in the sky. So be careful with them friends, man, cause they be in disguise. Man, that hoe don't
then lying double, she a paralyzed. They laughing at your fit, I'm looking at you like a sacrifice. That boy be outside too much, she need to go inside. If they spin it back on me before they do it, I'm gon' ride. Catch me slipping in that truck, you better get me with that headshot. They want me caught in that Beamer dying like X or Tupac. Bitch, I'm tryna ball, not worry about the next man. It's that Hunger Mother Kingdom together with like the X-Men. Oh, damn.
This guy is asking me some help.
For me, you should want better for yourself, and I hope and pray that you do, that you get everything that you want and everything that you ask for.
I wake up in the morning trying to regain on my bed. Funny thing about that is that they see me as a save. I was used to taking off just like a rocket in the sky. So be careful with them friends, man, cause they be in disguise. I wake up in the morning trying to regain on my bed. Funny thing about that is that they see me as a save. I was used to taking off just like a rocket in the sky. So be careful with them friends, man, cause they be in disguise.
Stop talking to me, Dex. Stop talking to me. You see that? Almost exposed his insides, man. Sorry, I had to do that. Sorry. Sorry.
Bitch, I never wanted more to make it. Down and I was staying motivated. Know they hated, they were devastated. I be underrated and it's overstated. Bitch, I never wanted more to make it. Down and I was staying motivated. Know they hated, they were devastated. I be underrated and it's overstated. Bitch, I never wanted more to make it. Down and I was staying motivated. Know they hated, they were devastated. I be underrated and it's overstated. Made it still, you be nickel plated. Lapping y'all and y'all frustrated. They keep going back and forth with that bullshit. Stuck to the TV like a news clip. I ain't about to go and walk around like a bounty hunter, go and look for you. Mean face like a bulldog, you think that I ran with the Hoyas. What, you think I am gonna lose now? Can't wipe the sweat on my eyebrow? You was a predator on the prowl, no need to go up, I'm going down. Mind you, when I said pause, family thinking I'm a lost cause. Can I wait to go prove them wrong? Sneak dissing in all them songs. I would rather get no fade, walk around with these old braids. Wish you could do it full time, boy, clock in before you're late. You be lying, you be buying views. Need to show a little solitude, it's clear that you be envious. Change the way you dress, what you oughta do. Yes, I be talking to all you some clown shoes. Funny, I thought it was a parody, but y'all some clown dudes. And don't get me started with quality, it sounds like you rap in a box. I hope you don't get sick, bro. Really rhymes come to the stop. Big estate, that's big Texas. Got no time for no little wop. All these laser beams on your kid, you would think they got the chicken pox. Driving in a drop top, knocking doors down, ripping doors from the padlock. And they just wanna see me put the nails on my forehead. I just want them brand new hundreds and them fresh bread. I still gotta clean my J's with a toothbrush. They stuck in your laces so they won't call you a poop. Make sure I put on them goggles right before I leave the house. If I'm not live streaming, then I'm sitting on the couch. Hey man, it's obvious you do not want this. And this is Kingdom ENC, Hunger Mob. Ain't no sign days that I've been doing this for a minute. I ain't even switching up the man, I've been trying to raise these takes so much, I'm out my fucking mind. I know they praying for my downfall, shit, but it ain't time. And where he think I'm going? I ain't going anywhere. Just wipe the dust off my throne, homie, this my chair. Put the crown up on my hair. Boy, I got the vision your promoters lack. And all of y'all are baby, shake the bottle, hit some Similac. Man, they say they really grinding, get the fuck about my house. You rappers rapping in front of rappers, that's all that's in the crowd. You ain't no lyrical rapper, you a serial capper. If you were gay, you'll be catcher. You the before, I'm the after. Hold up, you could play the mom, and I'm Gypsy Rose Blanchard. So you know in this story, you're really gonna die after. Man, I was trying to play it cool, I kept it cool on the scene. Man, you thought I didn't hear them slugs that you were throwing at me. You been married to the game, huh? But you got on one knee. You know what they say about game, huh? That shit ain't free. Sorry, that ain't my shit, that is on my hands. Homie, you cannot stop me multiplying the bands. Heard that life
life is a beach till you're dead in the sand. First jersey with my cowboy hat, I feel like King Sen.
Man, I've been on this shit for days. I feel like stuff ain't adding up. Convince me that you got that pressure, boy, and I will go shut up. I know they wanna catch me slipping. It ain't happening around me, though. Man, your dissing is like bullets, boy. You know I got torpedoes. You should stop with all that cap. Ain't no one buying what you selling. I'm a SA fool for real. It's going public if you telling. I be right there by that Hagen block, right by Laura Steele. On that HEB, the corner house, right there top the hill. I remember stopping get before they tore it down. They used to bully me for real, I bet they hear me now. I bet they miss with me right now, they get their face slit. Police say cheese soft like cotton and baby shit. I read the comment from 407, he bout to get it. My wrench crew will bench dude, yeah, come and get it. You know that Mr. Shadow lurking in them bad corners. I want that tennis chain for real, man, they be looking all pointers. They like Dexys now opponents. I'ma smoke this shit regardless, I don't care about no charges. Me and Neil be hitting targets. I'ma troll them in the chat, then I wipe them off the market. I put them trolleys in my blunt. Moment of silence before we spark. Man, give me that blunt, I'ma like that shit. 9 got the drop on the moppies. I'ma get some walkie-talkies, just say over if you copy. Bend her over cause I'm cocky. Goggles on me like I do ski. First one to wear them goggles like that on the stream, you copy Drewski. Nah, I'm not saying what coulda, woulda, or shoulda been. What would they do with that boy to put up in the bins? Staying up late like Braden on these YouTube streets. Them copyrights be serious, no YouTube beats. Man, Daily told me go listen to that new Ice Attack. And I'm like them handles on them purses cause I'm staying strapped. Plus any girls up in my chat, you getting handled by cat. And I'm like them handles on them purses cause I'm staying strapped.
You already know what it is. Hey, so Assassin, can I just chill now? Is that cool? Or I mean, can I chill right now? So yes. I make music still. I like to stream. I want to stream. I wanna just chill. 7 hot takes I had to leave out of my Drake video. No, I don't want to see that. This TikTok and streamer destroyed his career. An hour ago, 37,000 views. Goddamn. Fiery. What he tells prosecutor.
3.5 years. I needed to start making a living and do it relatively quickly.
Start sooner, finish faster. Nursing at
Now, do you know an individual who goes by the name Rich Homie Quan?
Who is it?
Do you know a person who goes by the name of Rich
What's
Homie?
good, fam?
Rich Homie Quan?
Yes.
Oh, the rapper?
He raps.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know him?
Oh, the rapper?
Yeah,
Like he doesn't know.
Have
He
you ever
knows
spoken
who that
to
is.
Rich Homie Quan yourself?
He knows
No.
who that is.
Do you recall
I don't recall speaking to him.
Do you recall talking to Detective Gaither and Detective Dennis in the same interview about conversations you had with Rich Homie Quan?
No, I do not recall having a conversation about Rich Homie Quan.
And that Rich Homie Quan,
He's lying.
You told Detective Gaither and Detective
Lordsville on the
Dennis
map. What's
that
good,
Rich
Josh?
Homie Quan was a part of If Gang.
So for those who don't know, this is Little Woody. We're in the courtroom. We're deep in the courtroom right now. Pause. We got this Mohawk lady writing down everything that this guy is saying, Little Woody, and the judge. It's a totally different judge. This is Young Thug's trial. Now Woody's all dressed up in a tux. So my bad. Let's see.
I don't recall.
Okay. And that you talked
For real, bro. But why is he getting lit? He's getting lit because he snitched.
That Rich Homie Quan felt.
Why is that, bro? Why is it now like nobody staying solid is like a thing anymore? Like it's more like, all right, the more crooked and stupid you are, and the more you snitch, is the more you're gonna get lit. Like, because that's all that's happening to this fool.
Torn between being with If Gang and being friends with Thug.
Again, I'm just telling police whatever that convince them that I know what I'm talking about.
He's lying.
So why would you bring Rich Homie Quan into any of it? Why would that be
Because
necessary?
I'm sorry, go ahead. I didn't hear you.
Let him
Why
speak.
would it be necessary to even talk about Rich Homie Quan
So
to the police?
So when the police question me, my whole motive is to get them off of me.
Let him speak.
So if they sitting me down, laughing, hee ha ha, like you doing when y'all was up there asking me, and I told you I was lying. This the same thing going on.
Just let them speak.
They sit here. I don't know about them asking me about Rich Homie Quan or nothing. But if they bring up a name, if they ask me something, I'm finna come up with something that
I'm finna come up with
I'm
something
in the midst, like I know what's going on. I don't sit around and gospel with people. I don't sit in people's faces. Like I'm out in the streets.
Gospel with people.
I like to be in it. I like to be outside. I'm not sitting around trying to listen to what nobody got to say.
Nah, bro, he's getting to the bag, fam.
But when you originally went to the police, it was to talk about being shot at on the highway.
He's getting more interviews.
So what would
Ladies
anything
getting
about Rich Homie Quan?
his
Why would you
shit
even talk
spun on
about
the
Rich Homie
radio.
Quan at all?
That's what I'm trying to tell you. I don't have a clue what you're talking about.
Okay, isn't it true that that you told the detectives that Rich Homie Quan said to you, "We the same set. You right here hitting these niggas this and that. So we talk. We the same set. I just can't turn my back on them. Like it ain't that, bro. This is what you're telling him. You supporting these niggas, bro. I'm telling you, the more you supporting them, the more they gonna come out and do that. If you leave them alone, then everything gonna go away." And this is what you're telling Detective Gaither and Dennis that you said to Rich Homie Quan.
Appreciate that, Rome.
So let me
appreciate that, bro.
Gaither was a gang investigator, and what she do is she sit in the neighborhood, watch us all day, and she put cases on it. So I know Gaither to sit there, and so when I'm interacting with Gaither,
yeah, he has
the main
a jacket
thing
on
go
him
through
for
my
sure.
mind is to convince her that I know what I'm talking about. That was my motive. So be bringing up Rich Homie Quan ain't never been like that in my eyes. So for me to be, I'm just trying to make it seem like I know what I'm talking about. What they say they want a big fish, and he's a big rapper. So shit, I'm trying to make up whatever I can come up with. I don't know. I don't remember what I said to no police. It's all stuff I just out the top of my dome. You ask me a question right now, I go out the top of my dome, and I convince you that I'm telling you the
Cash App's
truth.
right there, famo.
Okay, so
shit, the Cash App's right there, bro. John N. Kate with the money sign. All donations are shit. That donation button's coming though, bro. I just need more watch time hours, man.
in response, you said that Rich Homie Quan asked for your protection, and he said you told detectives,
Hell
that
yeah!
he's
Shout
like,
out
why
that
don't you
boy
protect me,
Rome,
bro?
personal
We
training.
need
Shout
y'all,
out
bro. I
that
need
boy
y'all to
Rome.
protect me. And you said, how the hell are we gonna protect you?
Can you say it again?
Sure. In the same interview with Detective Gaither, you said after you spoke with Rich Homie Quan asked for your protection.
He a millionaire. What you need my protection for?
Why would you tell Detective Gaither and Detective Dennis that?
They the police and they trying to get me.
Okay. Do you recall telling Detective Gaither about Rich Homie Quan's father's barbershop being shot up?
I don't recall nothing I said to no investigators.
And
A detective.
he thought that someone by the name of Tay shot up his father's barbershop?
I told you I did it.
No.
Oh.
You told the detectives that Rich Homie Quan thought that a person named Tay shot up his father's barbershop.
Well, I probably did. Ain't no telling.
But you were convinced that it wasn't Tay that shot up the barbershop.
What you mean?
You told Detective Gaither and Dennis that you don't think it was Tay that shot up his father's barbershop.
So I told him he did it, or I told him he didn't do it. Which one is it?
You told them that Rich Homie Quan thought that Tay did it.
Okay, so then I told the police?
Correct.
And then I told them that he didn't do it?
That you did not think he did it.
Objection, Your Honor. Are these questions?
Yes, they are. You can
Do you
tell
need me
by
to
the fact
repeat?
that her voice goes up at the end. Well, it may be that too, but yes, these are questions.
Do you need me to repeat it? Okay. In your interview with Detective Gaither, did you tell Detective Gaither and Detective Dennis that Rich Homie Quan thought an individual by the name of Tay shot up
Appreciate that, Brody.
Rich Homie Quan's father's
Hey, shout out that
barbershop?
boy Rome, man.
I don't recall.
Donation, bro. Appreciate that, dog.
In that same interview, did you also tell them that you did not think that Tay shot up the barbershop?
You confusing me.
I'll repeat it one more time and I'll separate it. In this interview with Detective Gaither,
Shout out Rome for the donation, bro. I appreciate you,
did
bro.
you tell Detective Gaither and Detective Dennis that Rich Homie Quan thought
Overruled, because it's certainly been asked twice or more, but it hasn't clearly been answered.
Shout out
He's
this
sitting there
man.
saying
This
right now,
judge
I
is, like,
don't know what
fair as
you're
hell, man.
asking
This
me. I'm
judge.
confused. So I'm going to permit her to try to
This judge is fair as hell, bro. So any way you want to look at it, like, man, hold up. Okay.
break it down and ask it again.
Okay, so I'll start over. In this interview with Gaither and Dennis, did you tell Gaither and Dennis that Rich Homie Quan thought that a person by the name of Tay shot his father's barbershop?
I don't recall what I told the police, but I don't know.
All right.
How do
Now
you
my
know,
second
though?
question is,
Yeah,
in that
you will
same
remember. You talking to
interview,
police. Trust me, you're gonna
did
remember
you
that.
tell Detective Gaither and Dennis you did not believe that Tay shot up the barbershop?
I don't know. I don't remember what I said to them.
For real.
And I should ask this: do you know an individual?
Shout out Rome for the cash
Tay,
app, bro.
who's
Blessings,
from
bro.
Bankhead?
Thank you, bro.
There's a mean Tays in them.
Do you know a Tay from Bankhead?
A Tay from Bankhead?
Yes.
Not out the top.
In this same interview, did you tell Detective Gaither about this individual named Tay from Bankhead?
I don't know a Tay from Bankhead.
Do you know a Tay from the west side of Atlanta?
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
Yes.
How many Tays do you know from the west side of Atlanta?
Too many on the count. But not from Bankhead.
Man, I bet you they need a lot of gum, man, because they be whispering a lot, man. They breath be stinking.
Stop promoting your link in bio.
Who actually clicks on the link? Nobody does because they get lost on the way.
Yeah, and I heard they don't like when you put links in bios anymore. Like I heard YouTube don't like that shit. That's crazy.
Now,
look, they ain't even paying attention, bro. These
back
people over
in
here ain't even
January
paying
of
attention, bro. They all
2015,
researching shit on the
did
internet.
you ever learn
They ain't even paying attention to
about,
what's going on in court.
strike that. Do you know someone that goes by the name of Lucci?
Who?
Lucci.
Lucky Luciano.
A rapper by the name of YFN Lucci.
Oh, yeah, he knows him. Look, that's why he's looking like that. Why are they looking over there, though? No, why the camera going over here now? Why they panning the camera now?
What about him?
Do you know an individual by the name of YFN Lucci?
I don't know a person.
Okay. Have you ever met this individual?
You said, have I ever met him?
Yes.
No.
When you say you don't know him personally, what do you mean?
Because you said, have you ever met? We never shook hands. I never met him.
Okay. How would you describe knowing Wyatt Lucci?
He's a rapper.
Okay. Do you know him outside of being a rapper?
Man, look at Thug, man. Free Thug, bro. Thug's going through all
In
this
2015, were you aware of his mother's home being shot at twice? Excuse me.
Hey, shout out that boy Rome, man.
Your
Thank you
head.
for the donation.
I don't know nothing about him.
Okay. Do you recall in this January interview with Detective Gates and Detective Dennis
Thank you, bro. I appreciate
them
that.
about Lucci's mother's house being shot at?
I don't remember. I don't recall.
Do you recall telling Detective Gates and Detective Dennis that people thought that you shot up Lucci's mother's house?
I don't know nothing about it.
Okay. Do you recall in this same interview back in January of 2015 with Gaither and Dennis that you were with Big Boo when Lucci's manager called trying to find out who shot up Lucci's mother's house?
I don't recall.
Okay. And do you recall during this same interview telling Detective Gaither that when the manager called Big Boo, you were present and overheard the conversation?
I don't recall.
And in the same interview, you told Detective Gaither that the manager told Big Boo that he had $20,000 for whoever shot at Lucci's mother's house.
I don't know nothing about it.
Okay. And that you actually took the phone from Big Boo and told them that you had nothing to do with shooting up Lucci's mother's house.
Okay.
Okay. Do you remember telling the detectives about that?
I don't recall.
Did that occur?
I don't know.
You don't know if you were present with Big Boo and took the phone away from him?
I don't know what y'all talking about.
Okay. Why would you need to tell Detective Gates and Detective Dennis that if that did not?
Man, there's a lot of crazy shit going on, bro. Hey, it's already 6. What do y'all say? We keep going or what? Man, if I was just Woody, I would just fucking not say shit. Plead the fifth. They got the camera all panned into the Georgia fucking.
So today's the day. I've got my RTA mock system and Coyote appliances. And they did tell me it was only going to take a few minutes. And I got to say, they were right.
There's a whole thing. Damn, this is 9 hours, bro. This is 9 hours.
Went to the green store.
I don't recall.
Why do they only let cameras in on some states? Like some states that it's like unconstitutionalized or whatever.
I don't recall.
Okay. And did you speak with a detective by the name of Detective Thorpe?
That's all that they're doing. They're fidgeting. Everybody's fidgeting. Oh, you can tell she likes ginger ale. This one likes fidgeting with her ears over here. This guy.
All right, and then I think, as I mentioned,
probably's past a fart
when
over
we were
here.
last together, I'm going to ask if there's anybody who thinks they're not going to be able to disregard that.
What are they talking about? Disregard what?
And completely disregard that portion of Mr. Copeland's testimony and evidence in your deliberations.
I don't know if you want to create an
any comments that may have been made by Judge Glanville that may have been disparaging of any of the lawyers in this case. To maintain the integrity of the jury system, I remind you that you must decide this case based only on the evidence admitted during this trial and the law as I will explain it to you. Now, I know that you have been on a bit of a break, but prior to that break, witness Kenneth Copeland was testifying. I'm going to instruct you and admonish you now that you are to disregard any and all of Mr. Copeland's testimony and any evidence introduced during that testimony that came after the 3 p.m. break on Wednesday, June 12th, which was the last break for that day. And that is, you are to disregard any and all testimony and evidence that came after the questioning and answers about Mr. Copeland's involvement in the Atlanta Blood Gang, ABG, and his January 11th, 2015 interview with Detective Thorpe of the Atlanta Police Department. The court is going to be collecting any of the notes you wrote during that portion of the trial, and I'm going to give you a short break in just a moment to identify those notes and provide those notes to my staff attorney, Ms. Persifield. And I'd like to find out at this point in time if there are any of you who cannot set aside and disregard that portion that I just mentioned of Mr. Copeland's testimony and evidence in the deliberations in this case. That is everything after his testimony about ABG and after the 3 p.m. break on Wednesday, June 12th. If there is anybody who cannot set aside and completely disregard that portion of the evidence in your deliberations, please stand up now and let me know if there are any of you. All right, thank you. Okay, so I'm going to give you a quick break to go back in and identify that portion of your notes and provide them to the staff attorney. And then I'll have you back out. I'll give you some other short instructions and we'll resume the testimony. So y'all can go ahead and do that for now for me. Thank you. Y'all be seated. And while they're out doing that, let me just ask y'all what was the practice with regard to order of cross-examination? Is somebody just taking it as the team? Somebody will handle it? Okay. All right.
When you say taking it as the team,
like, is there going to be one of you fine lawyers who's going to represent the questioning for all of the different defendants, or are we doing all 6 of you individually? Okay. What order are y'all going in is what I was trying to.
There's no particular order, Your Honor. Whoever gets up and starts.
Okay.
Generally.
Just find out from each of you whether you have anything else. Okay. You may, but I'm not going to wait for you to get back to bring the jury back. Okay.
I didn't see
We'll
it.
just recess in place at this point until the jury is finished with their note.
having to go to the Atlanta Police Department to talk about whether or not you were involved in the murder of an individual by the name of Donovan Thomas Jr.
Say that again.
Do you recall in January of 2015 having to go to the Atlanta Police Department to speak about your potential involvement in the murder of Donovan Thomas Jr.?
I don't recall.
All right. On January 11th, 2015, did you go to the Atlanta Police Department at about 3 o'clock in the morning?
I don't recall.
Okay. And did you speak with a detective by the name of Detective Thorpe?
I don't recall who I speak with. I don't recall.
And during that interview, did you go down there to speak with him about the murder of Donovan Thomas Jr.?
I don't recall who I spoke with.
Okay. And in that same interview, did you speak with him about not just the murder of Donovan Thomas, but events that led up to the murder of Donovan Thomas on June 10th, 2015?
I'm a liar. So you want me to remember something that I done lied about in the past? Like, I don't know.
So my question for you is, did you go to the Atlanta Police Department? Is your response you don't recall?
I don't recall.
Okay. And during that interview with Detective Thorpe at the Atlanta Police Department, did you provide him your name and your date of birth?
Huh?
When you went to the Atlanta Police Department and met with Detective Thorpe, did you give him your date of birth?
I don't know.
Okay. And is your date of birth July 25th, 1991?
What?
Is your date of birth July 25th, 1991?
Nice kid.
I think.
Okay. And during this interview, did you tell Detective Thorpe that you also have a middle name of Xavier?
I don't know what I told. I don't remember what I told him. Okay. I'm not trying to say the wrong thing so y'all can lock me back up.
All right. Well, just bear with me. We're going to go through that interview, okay?
Objection to the commentary.
Now,
disregard of the commentary by the witness.
Now, during the interview, did you speak with Detective Thorpe about the issues you had with a person by the name of Kel?
I don't recall.
And did you speak with Detective Thorpe about a problem that the two of you all had in the club?
I don't recall.
Okay. And did you tell Detective Thorpe in that same interview that Kel was Nut's little brother?
I don't know if they brothers or not.
Okay. So do you know who Kel is?
No, I don't recall.
Okay. And when I say Nut, is that Donovan Thomas Jr.?
You asking me that?
I am asking you that.
Say that again?
Sure. Do you know a person that goes by the name of Nut?
I don't recall.
Okay. Now, in that same interview, did you tell Detective Thorpe about you and Kel getting into the fight at Club Crucial?
I don't recall nothing from 2015, 14, 16, none of that.
Okay. And during that same interview, did you
tell
Detective Thorpe that you and Kel had been in?
That's all he needs to say is it was on bars. You don't
for
remember.
Maybe about no longer than 4 months, and this is back in 2015.
And he's still alive?
My question is, did you tell Detective Thorpe that you, Michelle Kel, at that time in 2015, had a beef, and it was probably going on around 4 months at that time?
I tell the detective whatever they want me to say, whatever they want to hear, whatever. So if I said it to him, I said it to him. I don't recall what I said to no police.
Okay.
He was on bar.
And during that same interview, did you tell Detective Thorpe that whenever y'all were in the club, y'all would initially just throw up birds at each other?
Huh?
In this January 11, 2000 interview, did you tell Detective Thorpe that initially, when you and Showkel were in the club, y'all never really fist fought, y'all just would throw up birds at each other?
Like I told you, before y'all called me to trial, I have lied. I made things up. I told you this before y'all brought me in this courtroom. And I'm telling you now, you asked me about 2015, I have got my life together. Y'all trying to put this on my conscience. Y'all trying to put people's life in my hands. I don't lie on people. I don't want to be here. Y'all have pressured me. I'm tired of y'all, because y'all know y'all are wrong. And y'all black people doing this to us.
And I understand that.
Leave me alone. Let me leave. Man, y'all pissing me off. Listen, I don't recall nothing I said to no police. Stop asking me these questions. Okay. I'm telling you, I don't recall.
I understand, but we're going to have to get through the questions. You can just continue saying you don't recall if that's what it is.
That's what you want me to say?
I want you to answer the
question.
question.
For just a minute.
Objection, improper instruction of the witness on how to testify.
I don't think that you were instructing him how to testify. I hope not.
No,
But don't instruct him how to testify other than truthfully.
Thank you. And
Any other objection, or was that covered? All right, go ahead.
If you can answer the questions truthfully, and we can move forward. Can we do that?
I don't recall.
All right. Now going back to 2015, did you tell Detective Thorpe first about a meeting that you had with Showkel at the Cascade skating rink?
I don't recall.
Have you ever been to the Cascade skating rink?
I don't recall.
Is the Cascade skating rink in Atlanta?
I don't recall.
Did you tell Detective Thorpe that while at the Cascade skating ring that you met and that you talked to Showkel about all the beef that you had with each other?
I don't talk I'm gonna be doing with my gun.
Okay. Back in 2015, did you tell Detective Thorpe that you had a gun at the Cascade skating ring?
I would never tell the police nothing I did.
Okay. Now, back in 2015, did you meet with Atlanta Police Department detectives on at least 5 occasions after the murder of Nutt?
I met with them a lot of times.
Okay. And during each of those times, did you talk to them about what was happening between YSL and If Gang?
Nah, I was telling them whatever I think that get them out for me.
Okay. Did you go and talk to the police after your car was shot up on the highway?
It's called finessing.
Okay, but did your car get shot up while you were on the highway?
I don't recall.
Okay. Did you, your child, or your child's mother get shot at while you were leaving your home?
They got shot at.
Okay, were you with them?
Not my kids and my child, mama.
Were you coming out of the house with you, your child, and your child's mother? Did that occur?
I don't recall.
Okay. Did your girlfriend's father's home get shot up after Donovan Thomas got murdered?
I don't recall.
All right. So going back to January 11th interview with Detective Thorpe, did you tell Detective Thorpe that you and Kel talked about the beef that the two of you had with each other?
I don't recall.
Okay. And during that, when you and Kel spoke, Kel asked you to call Thug on the telephone. It's effect on the listener, Anna.
It's a what? I'm sorry.
Effect on the listener, Your Honor.